Hi, it's Darnell with Wave Oven Recipes. In a previous video, I did an almond bread recipe that I made up for the Zojirushi Virtuoso Breadmaker, and that turned out really good. But I think chocolate almond bread would taste even better. And so I'm going to be making up a chocolate almond bread with the recipe I've come up with also for the Zojirushi Virtuoso Breadmaker. And we're going to see how that turns out and enjoy some chocolate almond bread, Lord willing, right now. And so here I have the bake pan for the bread machine. Always make sure I have the paddles pointing in the same direction. That helps to make sure that the loaf is even. And the first ingredient I'm putting in is 1.5 cups of water. Next ingredient will be 2 tablespoons of honey, and nothing in this video is sponsored, by the way. Next ingredient is 4 large eggs beaten, so I'm just going to beat these 4 eggs. Next ingredient is 5 cups of almond flour. Next ingredient will be a 1/4 cup of whole milk powder. And I'm placing this milk powder on the edges of the bake pan, on the 2 side walls basically. Next will be a cup of Vital Wheat gluten. I will also put that on the 2 edges here. And so of course this is not a gluten-free bread. If you want it to be gluten-free, you'd have to make your own substitutions. I don't have guidance for anyone who doesn't want dairy or doesn't want gluten or such. Those are changes and adjustments you'll have to decide and make on your own. I did explain in the original almond bread video that I made why I'm using each ingredient that I am using. So if you wanted any of those particular details, you can see that video, but we're just going to move along getting this ingredient in here. Next is 2 tablespoons of your powdered sweetener of choice, whether it be sugar or whatever else you want to use that's granulated, that you can use 1-to-1 on par with, whatever sweetener you like that would equal parts to sugar or another sugar substitute. This is a sweetener that is a 0 calorie and not as high on the glycemic scale. A little bit of a tongue twister trying to get that out, but going to put in 2 tablespoons of this on the side edges also. Next is a 1/4 cup of cocoa powder, which is obviously what makes it chocolate. I'll put that on the edges as well. Next will be 2 teaspoons of guar gum. And this will also go on the side edges, which are getting kind of high at this point. And next will be 2 teaspoons of kosher salt, also on the edges. Next will be 2 tablespoons of softened butter. I'm just going to take chunks off of it and put those on the edges in smaller chunks. And I'm going to, before I do that, make kind of a little well here in the middle for my yeast to go into. Basically, I want to keep the yeast separated. So, I don't want anything activating the yeast too soon. So just going to go ahead and put my butter in. And the final ingredient is 2 teaspoons of bread machine yeast that I'll put in that middle well there. Now that all the ingredients are in place, open the bread machine up and going to put the bake pan into it carefully, trying not to disturb things too much. So there we go. So close up, and I will push this back so that once it starts kneading things, moving things around, when I say kneading, the bread machine won't fall off the edge. But for course, we're going to do course 1, which is white bread. And we're going to set the crust control on the white bread to a dark. That'll give it some extra cooking time, because we want it to cook some extra time, and we may even leave it in for, maybe 15 minutes even after it cooks, just to make sure things bake really well. But I'm going to hit start with that, and I'll bring you on back later. Alright, so it's all done, and it looks done to me. I don't think it needs to be kept in there any longer. I've got my heat resistant gloves on, but let's get it on out, and going to basically dump it out on this rack that I have for cooling. Let's see. Alright. Just going to turn it over here. So there's our completed chocolate almond bread. I'm going to let that set for a good while to get nice and cool. So I've given the chocolate almond bread some time to cool down, and so now I'm going to go ahead and put it into my slicing guide here that helps me to slice my bread evenly. So drop it right on in there. Sorry about that squeaking noise there. Now I'm just going to go ahead and cut my slices. So with it all cut, just going to get a slice out the middle. It's still a little warm, but here's our almond bread in the middle there. So looks pretty good and chocolatey. And I do want to show that in the middle there, you see it's a little darker. That is fully cooked. It is not, you know, nothing's coming off on my finger. It's a little darker, a little moister, but it is fully cooked. So let's do a taste test. So thank God for some good looking almond bread, and let's taste. Okay, so almond bread has a real density to it, so you got to remember almond bread is really dense, but it turned out well. It's got a light, I'd say a light chocolate flavor. It's not a very strong chocolate flavor. I guess, you know, you could add more chocolate powder if you want, more cocoa powder if you want. And, you know, I guess if you really wanted to sweeten it up, you could, but I really wasn't making this as a dessert type of a bread. It's not really a dessert bread. It's, you know, just a, you know, kind of a bread to have as an alternative to the plain, to have a little chocolate in there. So it turned out good. And so, you know, I hope that you all enjoyed it. You can try it in your bread machine, see what you get. You can put your own spin on it, you know, see what you get. You know, it's up to you because it's your bread. And so with all of that said, you can always find a lot at my blog, superwaveovenrecipes.com, in the video description. Lots of ways to help this channel. My cookbook, referral link to the bread machine if it's available. You know, it's a hot seller sometimes. But you can, you know, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Share the video with a friend, leave your comments, subscribe, hit that notification icon, and good eating.